Welcome everybody to a special doubleheader edition of the Software Showcase. If you tried to join us online for the live stream earlier, we apologize. We're not sure what happened. The cameras gave out. So we're going to just start again and upload all this to YouTube later on. I am Mark Stedman, Vice President of Information Technology, and joining me in the studio today is Glenn Oliver, our team's project manager and all-around great guy.
Thank you, Mark. It's great to be in the bungalow again.
It's great to see you again. Glenn. So anyway, joining us in the studio as well is...
Hi, I'm Jennifer Cunneen, and it's great to be here for Take Two.
We're glad to have you here. So before we go any further, since you're now watching this on YouTube for sure, we'd like you to please like and subscribe. It really helps us. Tell your friends about the Software Showcase and about Wycliffe Associates. Later on, we will still do question and answer, but the way it's going to work is you're going to have to put your questions and answers in the comments, and we will respond to them. We actually see any comments that you put in YouTube, and we will respond to you either privately by email or we'll respond online. So don't feel like you can't have questions answered. And stay tuned all the way to the end. We will be doing bullet time, as is our new custom. So Glenn, why have we brought Jennifer in with us today?
Well, we've asked Jennifer here in, who is the recruiting team lead, because, it is interesting that we're bringing recruiting into Software Showcase. I wonder why that is. That's definitely a stay tuned and find out. But also, we want to talk about recruiting's role here in WA, which is actually huge in terms of our activity all around the world. So we want to talk a little bit about how that is accomplished. So to begin with, Jennifer, thank you for coming here today.
I'm happy to be here.
As our special guest. Tell us a little bit about your journey, how you came to WA.
Sure. So I feel really very blessed to be part of recruiting and part of WA as a whole, and especially recruiting has so many parts behind the scenes that you may not see, and it's exciting for me to be part of that. But my journey to WA was kind of an odd one. I think most of us know Deborah Mullins, who actually is my family friend and had been for so many years. And poor Deborah had heard me complaining a little bit about my job in the secular teaching world. And I was liking the teaching, but frustrated that I have no part in ministry. I don't get to tell people about the Lord. I don't get to share with my kids. And I'm thinking, you know, what can I do to be part of something bigger and where I can actually share my faith freely? So she said, did you not know I'm working at Wycliffe Associates, and right here in Orlando, we have this Bible translation organization and they're hiring. So that was 12 years ago. I got to come out and, amazingly enough, say, this is something I could really do. I could be part of this and I could love it. So that was ages ago. They're going to have to throw me out because I love it here.
So when I first came to WA, and Mark was giving me the tour of the building here, we came to a section. It felt like an entire wing was dedicated to recruiting. And I'm looking around thinking, there's not that many offices here. What do they do? Only to hear that they're not actually just supporting 30, 50 seats. We're talking thousands, like 5,000 or 6,000. How does that take place? What are these people doing? How are they contributing?
It's a wild story, and it really is kind of funny because for all of the things that we used to support over the years, it's changed. But in the past, it would be more, let's find this person and send them overseas. Maybe you go here, maybe you go here, and we worked with several partner groups. But now, of course, that we're focused on church-owned Bible translation, everything is about supporting the nationals. And so many people that I talk to, they call up and they say, I'm not a linguist. There's nothing I can do. I want to help, but I don't know how. So fortunately for that, there is a good answer because every talent you have, every skill, you can find a way to use that for Bible translation. And us getting to share about that is an amazing part of it.
So I mentioned earlier you're part of a team, but I asked you here specifically today because we have an opportunity. So if you have been watching some software showcases, getting to know the people and the leaders here in WA, you've also been seeing a lot of the projects that we've been working on. Hopefully some of those have been excited. And if you've ever had the thought of like, how could I get involved? Or people that I know that are very computer or tech oriented, how might they be able to get involved? And so that's why I brought Jennifer here today to be able to talk a little bit about our internships.
Our internship program is amazing, and it's one of my favorite things that y'all do because it's bringing in younger people. So how many times do we hear, younger folks have a desire, they want to serve, but they may not know, oh, there's ways I can use IT skills and support Bible translation. So what I didn't know coming into this was oh my goodness, we could not do this without IT. IT is a huge part of your programs, of your translation projects, of supporting the nationals. Nothing would be possible without the work that you all do.
Right.
So the interns coming in and being part of this are really part of a grander plan where hopefully they'll decide, I love this so much, I want to give my life to this, I want to be part of this and be involved. So we are looking for people with some very specific skills, particularly those who are maybe in their senior year of college, maybe in grad school or have just gotten done. Computer science would be great, or an applicable degree. We are looking for somewhere in the neighborhood of maybe a 3.0 or higher to come in. But everything you do is in support of something so amazing. So how cool is that?
That is very cool. And if you're interested in figuring out how to recommend somebody, there is, I believe, some job posting on Indeed.
Correct.
But you could also go to BibleTechs.org. That's BibleTechs.org. And I think there'll probably be a link somewhere accessible in the notes for the show if you want to do that.
Correct.
Now, if you go there, you will find that actually we have got a pretty deep internship legacy. We've been doing this since about 2015 or so.
That's right.
And actually probably about half of our software developers came from that program. So once we find you, we keep you. But one of the things to keep in mind is we actually have a number of different programs. We have had UX, UI designers, infrastructure people, IT tech people, as well as DevOps. But probably our most popular one has been the software developer internship. And one of the things I'd like to stress is that this isn't just an internship where we come and have you do scrub work. We set aside projects that you can start and finish within that internship, something you can look back, something you can put on your resume, something you can be really proud of, that will actively be a tool to enhance or help Bible translation. A couple of things to also keep in mind if you're thinking about people. I want to emphasize that we're looking for people that have the skills to kind of join us and get started right away. So we are looking for more than just kind of a boot camp experience. I've designed some websites, this kind of thing. I am looking for people that have worked with a compiled or managed language, things like C Sharp, Kotlin, or Java. I'm looking for scripted or interpreted languages such as Ruby, Python, Node.js. If you didn't get all that, if that was garbage to you, to your ears, don't worry about it. It's on the website. It's a part of that interview process that they'll understand what we're looking for. So let's actually talk a little bit about that interview process. So it's more than just a resume and your experience. We're actually really interested in some key information about you. What are some of the things that we ask them?
Correct. So when you first come in, it's exciting to me because I get to talk with all of you. And that's my fun part, is I get to speak with each intern. We go through an interview process where I get to know more about you, more about your skills, but most importantly, we want to know that you're a believer. I want to know, how did you come to know the Lord? And how is He putting on your heart this desire to serve in mission? So the passion is what we want you to come with. That's the best thing that you can bring to us. So in that interview process, we're going to be working through your abilities, learning more about you, how you fit into our team. And then after that, once you get to talk to me, is the fun part where they get to talk to Craig and Glenn and their wonderful team for the tech assessment of their abilities.
That's right. We have a certain number of exercises or challenges that we'll present to the individual, and we want you to work with some of them, and we'll use that as our platform for a conversation we have, and it helps us kind of assess where are you and how might you best be able to fit into the team if applicable. Also, keep in mind, too, that we'll be asking for references.
Correct.
And there's a couple slots for those. We're actually looking for two different types of references. So if you're a software developer, we're looking for somebody that would be somebody who oversees your work. Maybe that's a professor or a teacher's aide, or maybe it's somebody you've done some work for, professionally. This is a paid position, and so we're looking for people that will have those skills. Also, we're looking for a spiritual reference. We're going to be talking to you about, how is Christ active in your life? What does that look like in your day-to-day and how you're sharing that. But also we're looking for people that can attest to that, your experience in your walk, and maybe that's a youth group leader, a pastor, somebody that you're in discipleship or mentorship with. All of these would be valid. So.
Absolutely. So I think the fun part of that is we have this great time of getting to know the people. And what I always hear from the interns after they've been here for a little while is how fun a team y'all have. And that's my favorite part of it. Now, what's exciting to me, if I'm correct, is that they can be either remote or in person. I, of course, am a big fan of in person if they can do it, because they get to interact with this great team. Right. But I think one of my favorite points that I hear from people is how much time, how much effort, how much you care about them and their professional development. So this is an amazing opportunity.
Yep. Yeah. So that's a point we can talk about in kind of our interview process. This last, during this COVID period, was probably the first time that we also did a remote experience. And I think it turned out very well. But I think across the board, as people are able to become local, travel down here, that's really the best experience if possible.
Yes.
Yeah.
You learn the best and quickest here.
Yeah, and I think it helps a lot with feeling like you're part of the team to actually be on site. As good as virtual meetings are, I mean, we're doing one right now, there's nothing to compete with actually being able to be on site. So we would love it if people were willing to come to Central Florida and live here among the team while they're here. But it's not an absolute requirement. We'll have that conversation as part of the interviews.
Yeah. So generally speaking, our internships are about 3 times a year. We have a fall, a summer, and a spring internship. So we're actually talking about the summertime period, kind of from May to August is what our expectation is. Actually, exact start dates and end dates are negotiable because we realize people have other obligations. So we try to work with that as well.
Yep.
So don't let that stop you.
That's right. That's right. The other thing to mention is that a lot of these internships are renewable. So if you're only looking for a semester, that's okay. We're happy to talk about that. But if you're coming up on graduation, for instance, and you're thinking, I don't really want to intern for 3 months, is 6 months a possibility? It's absolutely a possibility. So we are completing an internship with one young man right now who's been with us for about a year at this point. Yeah. He's got a few more months, and then he's going to wrap up and move on. And our other intern, who started about a year ago as well, is going to actually wrap up school, and he's going to join our team full-time.
Wow. Correct.
It doesn't always happen, so we're not making a promise on that, but that is a potential. So, if you think this sounds like something that you're interested in, talk to us. Let us have an opportunity to get to know you and for you to get to know us, and then we'll work in terms of time frame that makes sense. The one thing I can tell you for sure is we have plenty of work. There is no shortage of projects and need for church-owned Bible translation to be successful. In fact, there is far more work than we feel like we can do, which is why we started using interns 6 years ago. Yep. Because Glenn and I realized, we can bring in 1 or 2 more software developers, or at the time, we actually did a whole summer program with up to a dozen interns and stuff. It was called 8 Weeks of Code. We realized we could fund that whole program for what it costs to hire 1 or 2 people for that time. Yep. So it's really been a blessing for us, and we enjoy it a lot, and it's been a blessing in terms of giving people the opportunity to learn more about missions and be involved a little bit and use their technical skills.
And it's a unique opportunity when you think about it. For a lot of people, their faith and their ability with computer science have been separate little worlds, and now this is something that actually combines both. And so you get to be able to take those talents and be blessed by them and be a blessing with them.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the mentoring aspect of the internship. So one of the things that you gain by joining our team is that we are a team of over 20 people, about a dozen or 13 or 14 or so live here in Orlando, and a number of them have significant experience building software, okay, and not just at Wycliffe Associates. So what you're coming into is a team situation where you'll have peers. You may be working alongside 1 or 2 other interns as a software developer, but you're going to be mentored by experienced people on the team. People like Glenn will mentor you on your project, but then also people like Craig, who's often our producer, will mentor you in your software engineering and things like that. And so you move from really being a student into being a productive team member who understands what it's like to work in the context of a team, have deadlines, turn things in, get customer feedback, make updates and changes and improvements to it and things like that. So you're really coming into a good environment to grow and to move from being a student to being a professional.
Yep. And we're putting this out now because the internship job description, the position has just opened this last weekend. And depending on how well that goes, it may not last long. So if you know somebody, please spread the word quickly. And we'll be just blessed to be able to meet any individual that is interested in the position.
So Glenn, this is the time that we would normally take questions and answers from the crowd. Yeah, so put those in the comments like we said, and we will respond to those. But barring that, have we come to that time in the show?
Do you mean pew, 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 bullet time?
I do mean bullet time. So Jennifer, I don't know if you're familiar with bullet time, but this is a segment that we do with everybody on the Software Showcase, starting about 4 showcases ago, which means you haven't been watching.
Don't tell me.
You just told on yourself. So bullet time is we ask you simple questions to get to know you.
Okay.
Okay. So question number 1, Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Okay.
All the way.
All the way. Okay. So there's commitment here. Okay. Sorry, Frank Nolan. Question number 2, sandwich or wrap?
Wrap.
Okay. Okay. Coke and a wrap.
Wrap.
Yeah. So we know what to order her next time she joins us for the team luncheon.
Nice. I like this.
Yeah. Okay. So if you had to pick a pet for the rest of your life, would you rather have a giant fluffy puppy, and I mean giant fluffy puppy, like the size of this room, or a tiny little rhinoceros?
And I have to pick one.
You're one or the other, and you're stuck with it for life.
Oh boy. This is a hard one, but I'm going to go with rhinoceros. I like the
Yes.
portable aspect
Yeah.
of this.
Yeah, everybody wants the tiny rhino because really, it's a tiny rhino.
That's amazing. I want to know if that exists.
Sadly, it doesn't.
Okay.
And the final question for you, which we should have prepped you for, is do you have a book recommendation for us and for the crowd?
Oh man. Okay, this is going to be a tough one because, yeah, there are plenty of books I read before I was a believer that I might recommend, but that I would not do now. But one thing I will say, if I can even do a quick little plug, is I am actually one of the fortunate people at WA who is doing our master's program at Barclay, and we also have a program at CCBS. And I will have to say that I am reading some amazing books on hermeneutics, history of missions, and this is another recruiting plug. If y'all are interested in this, we have opportunities for that, so let us know. But I am reading right now The Missional Church, and it's really fascinating.
David Platt?
I think so.
Yes. Okay. All right. Thanks for the recommendation.
All right.
Well, Jennifer, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you in the
Thank
studio,
you.
and it's also been a pleasure to work with you on our recruiting needs. Thank you so much for what you've done to help staff out our team, and we look forward to the people that you're going to talk to for the internship program.
Absolutely.
Well, it is my pleasure. Thank you for having me here.
And thank you all for watching. Remember, like and subscribe. It really does help us, and we'll see you next time.